guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode. In weeks since I've played, I took a little break, but you wouldn't have noticed it because I planned it out properly this time. Anyway, it's been weeks since I played, so I need to kind of catch myself up a little bit. I think we now have a pretty solid source of iron coming in. We definitely need to have a look at whether we can run maybe a few extra trains or maybe just one extra train here. So maybe buying an extra train here to allow for a little bit more workers to come in. We can expand the town here to get even more workers to come in, but we do need to keep an eye on our food and things like that. That is why this guy is over here. The train distribution facility here is supposed to be our backstop when we run out of food and things like that. But all of that still needs to be set up. So that is kind of what we're going to do in this episode. We're going to set up our train distribution. We're going to max out our, well, not max out, but we're going to really up our steel production. And we also need to continue our journey of electrification over here. So I believe we are still running a slow train over here with the crops. Now, the idea is that we will take that guy. All of this has been electrified, right? Ooh, no, it has not. But on the way back, should be able to get into here all electrified, right? Oh, no, not there. Into here all electrified and then come back all electrified, I believe. This is all electrified, right? It's very difficult to find out if things are properly electrified, even all the little bits and pieces. So that section has not been electrified, but this section has, and that'll give us access into there and back out into that direction. So it should work. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy to offload, and then we're going to move it in. We can also, let's just see. So at the moment, this route does not actually go all the way over there, and it's probably not sensible to make it run all the way over there to kind of space them. So we will do a little bit less than that. So what we'll do is we would like a train set, electrified train set, please. So I guess it's this guy, which is pretty cheap actually. That's the one we're running. These are similar speeds, but we'll buy another one of these. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this train set here. Where is it? There it is. We're going to grab this guy. We're going to view its line details. We're going to save it. We're going to say this is steel workers, right? Steel worker train. We'll do that. We'll save it. And that means we can pop another one onto that line, which is exactly what we're going to do. Let's park that there. We pause it for a little bit. We quickly assign the line, the steel worker train. Okay, we'll do that and we will make a start. Now, what we need to have a bit of a look at is if we go through this area. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. So this train has just unloaded. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the train, okay, until such time as this train has loaded, okay? So we're going to let them go at the same time, and hopefully, it's not going to stay that way, but hopefully it's going to leave us a reasonable spacing between them. And that's all that we're asking for. We don't want a perfect spacing, we just want a reasonable spacing. So this guy is still on its way, exactly. That's why we're waiting, holding off a little bit, so that we can get this to work. Ultimately, we want some more people here as well. Now, we will also have to have a bit of a look at our signals, and maybe we will do that ever so quickly. So once this guy pops in, we'll pause the game there, and now we've got lucky rain going on here. So I'll pin this one so it doesn't disappear. So what we have, let's have a look at our signals, right? So coming out of here, we've got joint direction signals, and we've got joint direction signals all the way in and out. Now, that may work for a little bit, but ultimately, I think what we want to do is probably have our signals turn around a little bit over here. So we'll do signals like that, and a chain signal to this side. And similarly, Do we want to do funny things through here? Similarly, on this side, we'll do chain signal on this side and just a normal block signal on this side. I think we'll leave this section to be double tracked, dual direction tracking. Do we? This can be anything. This can be anything. This can be anything. I do wonder if it is useful for us to keep it that way. So let us say, okay, let's quickly fix all of this stuff, to be honest. So we want chain signal here and chain signal there. This is one way in, right? So we'll leave that one be. This one will be block signal, chain signal out and block signal in, right? It could allow for it go back into that direction, right? So we could run a dual direction, but I guess it's not super important. So let's get another kind of signal in here and probably another kind of signal over there. So that should help us out a little bit. Then what we'll do is we'll get another, this one's a little bit problematic in the sense that we'll get another signal there, and this doesn't need an extra signal. And then this one can get an outbound signal, and this one can get a signal going into this broad direction. So now we're kind of cleaning this up a little bit. Now this is all going inbound. This guy can go out. No, it cannot. So we'll get it on a signal going this way. It seems like we will need to get a couple of signals in there just to clear things up a little bit. We will also want to do a few chain signals in here, plus probably a block signal. And we'll need a signal there and a signal there. And I think that will kind of hold. Let's get a couple of chains here. Actually, do we then remove that signal and have this entire thing generally blocked? That seems to be okay. So what we're after is another signal there. So now we're kind of allocating all of this stuff. Let's make sure to add a couple of extra signals in here, just so that we split things off a little bit. Now, coming in over here, we don't necessarily need too much more in this area. Let's do that one there, so we split things up a little bit. Similarly, we'll get a bit of a chain going on over here and an extra signal right there, just to clean that up a little bit. We'll get this one as a bit of a chain. This one could go in and out, so that's okay. We'll leave that be. In which case we definitely need to clean up a little bit over here as well. Let's move these a little bit. So this one, let's make this one a chain there and a block signal on the downstream side there. And what we'll do is we'll do a chain signal here with a block on this side. So we kind of just clear off this section. That looks pretty reasonable. Similarly, we'll have a bit of a chain signal over here, wanting it to clear out that entire section. That's fine. So we'll clean up this one. We want a block signal out into that general direction. These are very close together. And what we'll do is we'll clean this up with a chain. That's fine. That's fine. That is fine. Now, going out into this direction, we would want a single direction. This is dual direction. This is a single direction outbound. This is a chain into the crossings. We're not using crossings here anymore. That is no longer, generally speaking, used in this manner. So we may as well, sort out our chain there. We'll get our block signal here. We'll get our block signal there. That's probably okay. We'll get our block signal here, there, and there. and all of that is kind of sorted out into the appropriate directions. Now, if we head into this direction, similarly speaking, we really don't have much that we can deal with here. I don't think it is even at all important that we maintain dual directions there. So we'll get our chain signals to go into the intersection and our block signals to go away. A quick explanation of chain signals. So chain signals effectively mean that it can only, this one will be red as long as this one is still red as well. So it can, this one only goes green once that one is green, which effectively means that it allows us to not block the intersection. So if this one has something in it and it's red, it won't let a train go up to this signal. In that case, it means it keeps the intersection open. So it allows this guy to move even though this direction of travel is still blocked. Similarly, we just have to quickly finish out this section here, and then we should have easygoing single directions with all the options there. So let's start this train. Let's leave that be. We'll start the train. We've got a train here, and they should all be moving off now. They shouldn't be. Oh, no. Where are you going? Industrial train platform? Where is this? So, so now I've got an issue. Hang on. Let's just find... That route is obviously working, but now that I've changed stuff, can you just change the direction, right? You can get... Oh, it can't get out. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. Okay, so I do need to do a little bit of something here. Didn't quite sort that out. So it can't go from here into there, and that's why it's got this issue. So what we'll do is we'll allow the mixed signals back in here, and we'll allow the mixed signals back in here. So then it'll switch over in this location. Okay, so that should work, please. It's a little bit unfortunate, but now it should be fine. Please go. Excellent. Now, the other one's probably already on its way. Very close to on its way. Excellent. It's coming through. Okay, good. Luckily, we managed to troubleshoot that pretty quickly, and hopefully it's going to get over to the other side. Nice. Clear it out quite nicely over there, and it'll use whatever platform it wants to use. Let's have a look over here. We've got no workers left. Our workers is obviously just arriving, and then we should start moving again. Okay, perfect. Now, that took a little bit more time than I expected. So this guy is obviously gone all the way back. Not yet, in fact. So what I think we do, we send this guy out. Actually, let's let it be. Well, I didn't want to buy all the carriages as well. I can try and not buy the carriages. So let's just let that be for a minute. And let's have a quick look at what we can get over here. So the plan with this one is to make sure that when we fall short in any of these things, whether that be meat or food, specifically those two things, right? When we really fall short in that, we want this guy to go and grab some stuff for us from the border. So what I'll do is I will buy a couple of vehicles. And like I said, this is not exactly the hard mode of, going to collect vehicles at the border, but we're generally moving goods from the border. So what I'm after is I am after electric locomotives, and I'm looking for something pretty cheap, right? So if I pause it for a second, which are the electric locomotives that we're using, just broadly speaking? So we've got this guy, which is the Class 350 electric. So let's go and maybe grab an extra one of those. Give us the electric locomotives, please, which the Class 350 should be pretty cost competitive. If we still have it. There it is, 330. Yeah, that is pretty cost competitive, I might say. 330. Yeah, that's really quite good. Considering how the rest is not so good, that is really quite good. We'll grab one of those, right? Then at the same time, we need to get a couple of cargo wagons. So let me unpause the game so things can move. We need a couple of cargo wagons. I'm not gonna buy a lot, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna want to get at least one refrigerated wagon. We don't have it. We don't have refrigerated wagons. That's an interesting one. Okay, let's look at it over here. Cargo wagons. Do we have no refrigerated wagons? We've got boxcars and things from the US side, which is not necessarily something I'm after. Containers, whatever. All of this stuff is fine. That's a steel wagon. Open hopper. We don't have refrigerated train carriages? Center beam. All of this stuff. So obviously we get boxcars, and we should have boxcars, right? Let's go back into this one. Cargo wagons. Oh, here we go. Boxcars, refrigerated wagons. I don't know why it wasn't working. Anyway, maybe because I had electric or something ticked. Okay, so what we want. So we want at least one boxcar to bring in food. 33 tons of food might not be enough. So we'll need 2 boxcars at least. We'll need at least 2 boxcars. And then something something like a refrigerated wagon. I think just one is going to be just fine. So boxcars, we have 34 tons, 33 tons, and 34 tons. This one is newest. They're all pretty samey in terms of cost. Let's grab a couple of these. And we'll grab one of these. Pretty pricey to buy the train stuff. But anyway, we've got that going. Now, while I set this up, right, I'm not going to want to do let the game run. So what we want to say, this is your primary pickup point. You will be loading from here. You will not be unloading. This is an import station and or an import distribution office. And I will kind of mark it as such. And what we absolutely want to do is we want this to be one of your unload stations. And you will be unloading food, clothing, and meat. Food, clothing, and meat is the most important items. I'm not going to do the rest just yet. And we'll only do that if it's less than 10%. Then it's going to go and grab us a bit of that. Okay. So strictly speaking, we have over 50% here, right? 10% would be under 40 tons. So if it's under 40 tons, the train's going to go out and get some stuff. Over here, if it's under 20 tons. So we are more than good with that. With regards to meat, it is under 10 tons, so it will go and grab a meat for us, which is not the end of the world. That's fine. So if I switch it on, the question is it going to go and grab some meat for us? Not quite yet, right? Doesn't actually say, but this, oh, it's over 10. It's just over 10%. So that's not why nothing is working. It's just over 10%. So once any of those, so this is our fallback, so we don't run out of food. This is the issue, right? We don't want to run out of food. Now that that's in place, when this guy unloads, we can bring it back, and even if food drops a little bit due to our logistics work, that should be fine. So I'm going to quickly do that, move that one over, and then maybe we'll plan out an extra section here, because I guess we're going to kind of run out of workers ever so slightly if we don't keep an eye on that. This guy is still moving quite well, and now I've got the 2 trains, so that should be pretty good. Want to keep an eye on these things over here as well. So we don't want to run out of any of this, and it seems like we are not. So that's good. That is good. Okay, so this guy, as soon as you clear, it won't be able to actually do what I'm wanting it to do, right? It potentially will. Okay, it's unloaded. So now let's send it to this facility over here. And it is struggling a little bit. I want to see if it can get into there. Go over there. Please keep going. Please keep going. Please keep going. Not onto that one. So now we're on the wrong side of this thing. Okay, so what we'll do is let's send it... Well, let's cancel that. Okay, let's cancel that. Okay, so we've canceled that. So now it should just be running, right? So when it starts running, let's find where we've got a crossover. I think once we have it on this side, it can go through to the other side. So let's just get it to the other side there, and then we'll loop it back. I want to park it a little bit because our spendings of monies is being a little bit extreme. Yeah, so let's just get this guy to run through to the other side there, and then we'll flip it around. So once we get somewhere over here, we'll move it to the other side, and we'll flip it around and then run through over here to get to the other side of the track. So we just want it into right about there. We'll pause it. We will let it go to its end destination. And the idea here is that we just go ahead and turn the train around. So now it's turning around. It should find its way to its new location pretty easily via this. No. You should quite comfortably be able to find a route, right? All you want to do is go in here, right? All of these routes exist. Let's give it a minute. Oh, I know what the... I know exactly what the issue is here. Let's just give me a mixed signal there. There we go. Now we're good. These are mixed signals on this side anyway, so should have been workable. Is it going to fill up while it's here? No, not in reality, not. But anyway, it should be able to get to where it wants to go. This is probably already empty. Yeah, they go through this super quickly, and now we've got no crops whatsoever, but at least there's still food available. Have we seen this train move at all? No, not that I can notice. Can we change the color of these guys at all? I guess not. They're going to have to be blue. Okay, here we go. So once this guy's out of the way, we can start our process on further electrification. And I would love to just get our electrification going for the rest of this. So grab me the electrification and let's get everything electrified through here. Get out of there and start to electrify. Anyway, they should be doing their thing now. They've obviously they started jumping the gun a little bit. I should have probably started the electrification on that side. This guy is going to take ages to get here because it's a super slow train. And now it's going to go ahead and disrupt my traffic through here. No, it's not. Excellent. Good stuff. Glad to see that. So now we haven't quite stopped it. These guys, this guy should be able to clear there before they come back. Oh, interesting that it's taking that route. So it shouldn't be too disruptive through here anyway. I like it. Everybody is... Ooh, our happiness has dropped a little bit. Why is that? Oh, no. I don't think it has dropped. I think this was kind of our general happiness situation. And it is strengthening, actually. Our clothing quality and food is fine. We're fine. A little bit of pollution. A little more pollution than I actually want to see here. Some people are affected by pollution, so that's a little bit of an issue. Excellent. This little train is doing its thing. It'll run the electrification to the other side. Is electrification working? Come on, guys. It's not the. Let's just get this guy to go back. And now that guy's doing its thing, running through there. Excellent. How many of these track builders do we have doing their thing? This guy is struggling. I don't quite know why they're doing it the way they're doing. Just see, is this guy ever gonna sort itself out? There we go. I think that's okay. I don't think they'll do too poorly here. Okay, now they're starting to block each other a little bit in this sense, but I think as soon as we get into that area, things will start moving again. Yeah, now that's going to look a little bit better. These guys shouldn't be bothering each other too badly now. What are you trying to do? There we go. Excellent. Yeah, that electrification is going super quickly. Now, okay. We don't want to... Where's our train? It should have just arrived. Okay. Let's pause it for a second while we quickly look at what we're going to purchase. We're going to do another purchase of the electric locomotive, the C350, which is a reasonably priced vehicle. And we're going to move these guys over. Okay, and the question is whether we should take this opportunity to extend this a little bit. Maybe we'll just grab another one of these guys just to get a little bit more. So at the moment it can do about 272. I think we're going to extend it by at least 2. So let's buy ourselves. Oh, we still already got the buying going on here. Let's get a cargo wagon. We're after, yeah, this is where it's at. We're after the boxcar that does, what does this do? 54. So we're after this boxcar. So let's grab one more and maybe 2 more. Okay, we'll get that going in there. Now 7 cars. That gives us 380. Let's leave it at 380. I think let's do that. We ultimately want to replace a lot more of the stuff. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to say you're going to come in here. You're going to load up on crops. And ultimately, we're going to move it back to the other station, just by the way. And then you're going to go here and you're going to wait until you've unloaded your crops. And I'll also wait on this side as well. We're going to do that. We're going to unload our crops and we're going to say make a start. So I think that should all work. We can comfortably continue our journey. So this guy should run... be able to run effectively through this. This entire section here is electrified. That is quite a nice little train that we've got there. A much needed upgrade in terms of speed. So hopefully that keeps us going. So we should have tons of steel over here, lots of steel over there. And ultimately now what we can do is we can up our numbers here a little bit to see a lot more mechanical component production and hopefully a lot more of those exports. And that hopefully is not going to be where we're going to try and get our costs a little bit more down from there. This area should be working pretty well. I'm going to run through that pretty effectively. I just want to keep an eye on this train just so that to see if all of this section works, because I'm not sure if all of this has been upgraded, but we should hopefully see it work. I don't see any other trains here that I'm not expecting in this area, like the train distribution office. This guy loading up pretty quickly. Yes, that looks pretty reasonable. I just want to keep an eye. And then I also want to keep an eye on what's going on in here. More than enough this, more than enough of that. So we haven't seen necessarily the need for train distribution office to do some work here. Who's pulling ahead? Nice, there we go. Okay, just want to see how that works. It should be going straight through there. Yes, should be going up on here. Excellent, so that is properly electrified. I'm hoping the other side is the same. Oh, it wouldn't embark on this journey if it wasn't doing this properly. And it's going to get in there and it's going to go ahead and unload this hopefully fairly quickly. So now we're going to start making some more food. It's almost a full load of this, but that's okay. Doesn't matter too much at this point, I guess. Oh, our clothing could have dropped off a little bit as well, which we see on the bottom line, I think, first. Fully unloaded. I just want to see it. It's going to turn around. Okay, so why is it giving me the grief? It is giving me the grief because of this. Okay, let's just quickly have a look here. So we would like to include a mixed signal into this location, and it will be able to run into that general broad direction. I'm just going to update this to a mixed signal as well, just in case. But anyway, that's okay. So that should now easily find its way back to it. Let's just see if it does do the trick here. Well, it shouldn't have gone if it wasn't going to work. So that's it. This is a very tight turn for a train. So really, it's not going to be able to do that at any kind of reasonable speed. It did it at about 150, which is just crazy. But other than that, it's fairly okay. Excellent. So now our import should be pretty quick and effective, actually. Here we go. There we go. Do your thing, guys. Do your things. Okay, now this has been, again, we've lost out here a little bit. Let's clear that guy, and we'll hopefully get a little bit more electrification going on. Where? Oh, it's going to come back and electrify in that direction? Is it? Has to be. That's kind of the last section, isn't it? These two. Oh, it's winter. The last sections of electrification has been done. This guy should make its way back to where it's coming from. These sections have been done as well. So that's awesome. So what we can do now is we can get the next section of electrification going, which would mean let's get those two going. Right, so we should see some trains going out to go and do that section. This way and that way. It's an interesting move. Probably getting some fuel. This guy should be going in there, turning around. Anyway, get it done, and then we'll slowly start building the next up. Okay, so how are we going with other things? Seems to be construction is still moving in a number of locations. So we're in a reasonable position. Things are moving. I mean, it's going to be ages before we actually switch this stuff on and start making it work. So it's okay for it to slowly do its thing. We need to get track builders in here to come and build the rest of what we're seeing over here. Make sure we got our tracks all sorted out. Did I... Really? What's going on with our tracks? Can I... So it seems like we had a section here. Oh, I just disconnected this. So we'll have to have a look at reconnecting that. Oh, I guess what I'm after is another section of track through here somewhere. So we'll have to have a bit of a look at that as well. So I'm not too fussed with this at the moment. Our industrialization journey is going along pretty smoothly, I would say. I would like to calm it down just a little bit. No more train buying at the moment until we get a little bit more of a grip on our finances. I think it should be ramping up now, getting much, much better. This guy is, yeah, excellent. So now we're actually probably producing food constantly now. So that's really good. And we should have no issues with iron. And with coal, coal is starting to get a little bit of a... Okay, so really, in order for us to not get too far behind, because we're going to start running into some issues with coal here, and we don't want coal to run out, right? Coal is the lifeline of both our power. Both our power and our heating is very reliant on coal. So we don't want to run out. Electricity problems where? Why are we seeing electricity problems? It doesn't seem to be a big issue. Okay. All of this is okay. Everybody is quite comfortable. So I'm not too fussed with what we're seeing yet. Now, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we've got some proper additional residential component. So let's, we've got a few things here that I wanted to actually make a start on. There's so many little things that we want to be doing. So if we were to say, we'll just do, I don't actually like that. I'd rather do this. So let's do that, and just kind of get our things here to do. We want to get the road construction crews to come and build these sections for us. Thank you. Okay, now what we need to do is, this section's not built. I completely understand that. We can certainly make a start on that also. So we'll tie that one in there. We'll get it started. We'll get our road construction crews onto it to come and build it so we can build the rest of it. Now, what we also want to do is we want to build a little bit more housing in this area. We have what? We don't really have, so we need to, oh, here we go. Oh, it's there. It's there already. So this is a little bit unnecessary at the moment. I can just put its new pathways over here. So let's do a little bit of that. And what we'll do is we'll just make sure it's got pathing over here. Right? Nothing else needs a path there. Okay, now, for the first component here, I'm guessing I would like us to do just a straight section in through there. I think that's going to be, we want to make sure that we're upping our the ability for people to walk as much as possible. So we've got heating over here. We should have power in this area, and there is still consumption available, and we should have water and everything here. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit more residential buildings in this area. So if we look at our residential buildings, I don't want to do the super tall structures here. But I do want to do something that looks a little bit nicer. So if we go with something like this as a bit of a prefab, I think we've got everything we need. Have we used these before? Not so much in this direct area, but I guess these are similar. Let us just let's just do maybe a couple of these. What's the sizing of these guys? Wonder what the sizing is. Okay, so if we're double checking our sizing here, this is about 220 workers as opposed to that one, which is, that's too much. We can't really do those sizes. These, I kind of like these. These are the ones we're kind of using already. We're using some of these also. 220. Let's do a couple of those just so that it's not all looking exactly the same. These are, hang on, let's just see. Is this all connected? But this is a switch only, right? Okay, that's fine. No problems. No problems with that. So we've got heating. We've got everything we need. Let's just go ahead and grab a couple of those. So this is a bit of an awkward plot. So if we, I guess we need, so we could do something like this. And maybe that's quite a reasonable thing to do. So let's do, maybe we do that, and we do this. Yeah, I think that could work. We could also do, yeah, actually we could also do one kind of right over there. Right, so that's kind of using this space quite effectively. Then we could have room for something in the middle here. So what would we put in the middle? Do we do a smaller building? I mean, certainly we could do, certainly do a little something like this at the edge. See what we have underneath here. Yeah, okay, we could do something like that. What is the size of this building? Oh yeah, that's a lovely size. Let's grab that. So two of them is crazy different in terms of size than in the others. So let's do that. We'll try and maximize our spacing here. I want to make sure that we do our best to kind of keep them as square as possible. So it seems to be an okay location. I obviously also don't want to be blocking necessarily that access point, any of the access points, for instance. Let's maybe pull it forward a little bit more, so something like that. Okay, so in this location, they should have reasonable access to a few things, but that access point's not necessarily great. Where? Oh my! Okay, we do have some stuff happening there. What's our money looking like? Okay, so this month it's starting to look pretty healthy. Oh, our exports are high, right? So we should be okay. Should ultimately get around to being just fine. Okay, so that's going to be okay. Now, if we wanted to say, what can we give these citizens in terms of services here? We want to give them something, right? What'll squeeze into this area that's kind of reasonable? I mean, we could do something like that. I still want to do... We could also do... Ooh, that's actually not too bad. Maybe it's more... That's just... It's just a little bit tight, so that's not really going to work for us. Yeah, I mean, we could do individuals. So we could do some stuff like this. And we could grab... Oh, hang on. That was the one. We could do something like that over here somewhere. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of that. And then could we do either a statue or something culture? So what other culture buildings do we have? Anything fairly small culture buildings? Like a... What is this? A library. Got a small little library here. But I guess that's not really going to fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to put the library there instead. The library that I just had. I'm going to put that one here instead. It's kind of the yeah, so I'm going to do a little something like that. Oh, and we obviously need to bear in mind that we don't have any... we could put something with regards to waste collection over here. So we'll have a bit of a look at that in a minute. So we'll do that. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll try and get a statue in here as well. If I go to mod and we say monuments, did I have some others? So let's right click, add a few. What is this? The Leningrad TV tower. Yeah, I've grabbed a few extras from the workshop just so that we have a little bit of variability in terms of our what we have here. I don't want to do another one of those. Anyway, we'll see what this looks like. Monument of the Space Program, not necessarily too keen on any of those. So if we do that, so now we should be able to go back, have a look overall at what we've got here. So we've got something like this, Battle Monument. What does the Battle Monument actually do? It does give us a little bit of government loyalty. So the Battle Monument, let's just have a look. I don't mind a bit of a Battle Monument. But maybe this is not really the right location. We need something a little bit more... no, that's a bit over the top. We need something a little bit more residential, I might add. So we're already using those at like the courthouse. Maybe some of these obelisks aren't too bad. Or otherwise we just have that this kind of thing. Actually, this might actually be exactly what we're after. Gives us a little bit of influence there. And then this is... oh, a bit of a Lenin head. Maybe that's not quite looking exactly what I want in this kind of area. What's this guy look like? I think the Lenin... I think maybe more so something like this, for instance. I think let's do that. Get ourselves a little bit of a statue, kind of right in front of... we don't want it right in front of the building because we actually want to pass through there. So the idea would be that maybe kind of right over here, and then we'll just not give it access right there. So let's do something like that. So let's do that. Let's get our paths in place. It's going to be a pretty simple area, so we can do what we want. So let's, in the first instance, let's run our path straight through there. Actually, it's a little bit too far, so let's run our path straight through there. We would also like to run a path into this broad direction like so, so that's fine. We would also then like to run a path up here. Yeah, I may as well just do these. And we'll run a path down this way, though I don't want to necessarily lose out on something here, as that might not actually work. So what we might do is we might see about that. So let's get the path to come in, say up to here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do a little something like, so let's do this. Let's do that. We'll try and make it, yeah, that's fine. And then at the same time, we're going to do, yeah, we're going to do this. And we're going to do that. Right, that looks fine. It's going to look pretty interesting. We'll do a very similar kind of maneuver through here, but we do need to give ourselves a little bit of room on some of this stuff. So let's get started on our road buildings in a lot of these locations. So as soon as we can get some of this stuff built, we'll get it built. Now, over here, what we'll do is we will clear out some of these paths, because we're going to have to provide some new paths, and probably all on that side. But what we also need to do is have a look at what kind of garbage pickup we can have over here. That might be a little bit too large. So this could be useful, right? Because we want to make sure we've got some big trucks going in there. Could this potentially work? No, I don't think so. Could do something on this side though. So I think we're just going to have multiples, to be honest. Yeah, we're not going to have... I'm hoping. Okay, so let's go with the smaller ones that actually has some road vehicle access. Okay, can we... Hang on. There's a little bit of a trick here where we remove all of these so that we can get a slightly better approach angle onto the road. So if we go here, now we should be able to get a pretty direct... we want to make sure that the pathing can actually get by there. So if we were... Oh, can this go... It can go really close, but it can't go on top. Okay. So let's do that, I think. Okay, and now what we need to be very careful about is getting this pathway. On which side of the road do we have our... Oh, it's on that side, so we need to come from this side. I'm going to do this. Right, and what I want to do is I want to do that. And that is exactly right. Perfect. That should work. That should give us access here. This guy could get access there. There's lots of access that we can get once we've got all of these things kind of built out, right? So let's assign some construction. Get these guys all constructing up on things. So let's keep going. So that's another little block of residential that's going to help us out with some more workers. What is happening over here? So for the month of January... for the month of December, we broke even. I'm quite happy to kind of say that's breaking even. Now, for the month of January, it means that we should be making tons and tons and tons of money. So let's quickly have a bit of a look at our last month's performance. And if we look at the imports, just want to see. That can't be an import cost, right? We definitely didn't import 400,000 of imports, right? Is that 400,000 of imports? Iron? That much iron imports? So last month, December, any vehicle imports? No vehicle imports. So that does scare me a little bit in the sense that we should not be importing quite as much. We should not be importing quite as much. If we're not using it, we shouldn't be importing it. Because this is running out, right? Yeah, this is running out pretty quickly. So let's quickly say maybe... Oh, who's stuck here? Okay, so this guy has come to pick up meat, but for some reason can't actually make it to where he wants to go. Okay. So presumably it can't do it from this side because that's not electrified. But you can come in from here, but I'm guessing there's a section here that's not electrified either. So I think the easiest stretch for us to electrify is going to be this section that's not actively under construction or under work. So let's quickly do that. That's a bit of a bummer. I didn't quite see that coming. Should have, but I didn't. Okay, so let's see. So who... Okay, so here, let's get our electrification on in this broad area. Get all of this electrified. I think we can just, quite frankly, just go about electrifying all of the rest of this because we need to tie it in anyway, right? Okay, so go ahead and do full-scale electrification of the remainder. Okay, so everything should quite comfortably now be electrified, right? For this particular journey. So let's quickly have a look. If we unpause it for a second, let's see. Can we... These guys going to go and do something? Not particularly. Okay, so let's get... So you can't get there, can you? Have a bit of a look at our signaling. Can get through there, can get through there, cannot get through here. So if we were to do that, it should be broadly accessible, right? Yeah, it should be. So let's make sure to also then assign that stretch. So let's just get these stretches for to work on so that we can get this electrified because I don't want us to run out of stuff. How are we looking? Food is okay. That's okay. I mean, we're not in dire straits here at the moment, but obviously it triggered the 10% value and so it moved out to go and collect some stuff. Exports are lagging. Let's, if we have a look at last month in terms of our exports, right? I'm a little concerned by it, and hopefully we can fix it fairly soon. We're obviously importing way more stuff here than we necessarily should be. This is importing yet again. Maybe what we should do is park one of our trains. Park one of our trains. Where is our other train? Let me just find that other train, to be honest. Right? Do I have a train in here somewhere? Parked? No? Where's my other train? I think what I'm thinking about is moving it into the station there, the distribution office. I can't find it, but it is sometimes quite difficult to find them. Okay, so if we look at this, right, we've got 2 Novigrad import rail. Let's have a look at this line. So, where is this guy? Here we go. Ah, so it was actually quite close by. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this guy, right? I'm going to move it in here. So make your move, come into this area. I think it can, yeah, it can loop and come in there. So go around, loop it in here. And what we'll do is we'll also start saying some additional stuff, right? You can't possibly be stuck, right? Oh, yeah, the other one is stuck. Yeah, that's the issue. So we'll loop this one in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, you can now also, so let's just get it in here. So once it's in, it should immediately activate some other stuff here. Okay, stop it there. So now once it's in, the next thing we're going to say is you should also come and drop off, unload over here, right? So it's going to get anything there. And then what you can do is you can bring in iron. Once this thing reaches, so 50, no, we need, so 10% would be 10% would be 500 tons. Yeah, so let's just leave it at 10% as well. Okay, so we've moved one of them in there. The other one I think we can move the other one in there too, to be honest. Or we maybe park it back in the depot. We don't need this guy to be actually maybe let's up it to 20% for that guy, just because we don't want it to be too crazy there. So anyway, that should reduce our imports a little bit because we really can't keep pace with these guys. So we want to make sure that we're not overstretching ourselves too much here. That is a bit of a problem. I'm hoping we can get that guy sorted out. We are electrifying here. Oh, beautiful. This section is almost completely electrified. That's good. This guy is seemingly stuck, so let's send it home so it can come back and do some more work. But yeah, lots of electrification that we still need to do. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain to get the electrification done. But guys, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there for the episode. We've done a lot of little things, predominantly buying trains and setting up some logistics and things like that. Planned out another little area for further expansion of our residential components so we can get a few more workers. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about our worker numbers. I mean, it's nothing to worry about. What does our overall population look like? It's flattened out quite a lot, right? We haven't seen any significant growth at all. If we look at the overall all time, right, you've got a recent bump up to about almost 16,000. But we kind of made slow steps. So there's sections where we need to probably just calm it down a little bit. We've got quite significant growth over here. So there's just some sections here where we're going to do a little bit less just to stabilize things a little bit. From a financial perspective, we absolutely need to stabilize stuff a little bit. Oh, I wanted to have a quick look at the exports. So if we go back, just before we end the episode, if we go back to last month and we have a look at the exports of resources, right? So mechanical components gave us a lot of money, 132,000 rubles. So that's what we would expect to see, considering that we now have sufficient steel to make that work. And we've got some more people working there as well. And at the same time, we've got a lot of clothing exports, a lot of power exports, even a lot of food exports, which not really something I'm chasing. A lot of alcohol exports, bitumen exports, and very little kind of exports of waste. I mean, that's going to cost us any money. So 400,000 in terms of exports is quite a good number. But then if we have a look, and quite aligned with what we've had previously, right? So if we go back, say before we did some of that stuff, what was this export looking like? Whoa, look at that clothing export, 277. So does that mean our export of clothing is actually lagging a little bit? Seems to be pretty good. Maybe if it starts to get into summer and we don't have a lot of trucks struggling to get through the snow, maybe that's the issue. But ultimately, we really need to get our export number looking a little bit healthier. So yeah, the export number, 43 million all-time exports. Anyway, we need to get those numbers to be a little bit healthier. That is the plan. Look at this. So much steel. We really don't necessarily need to do the steel that much. So let's drop down our workers here to say 380 or something, just so that we reduce our production just a tad. Presumably we can. Oh, this is looking super healthy. So we've got so much steel. So steel is in a very, very healthy position. We really don't need to go that crazy with our imports of iron and the likes. But I guess that'll all kind of sort itself out a little bit. We just need to stabilize this a little bit. This is getting way too close to our to comfort for me. So we'll slow it down. We'll let teams construct a little bit. It's not going to cost us that much money, I would imagine, to construct. We've got most of these materials ready to go. And then we can get a few more people, and everything else should be working just fine. Hopefully we can get our electrification moving through here, right? That's not under construction. Let's just start the construction there because these guys seems to be not doing anything. No, don't demolish, construct. So, oh, every time. Okay, hang on. Pause it for a second. Give me some of this kind of stuff so you can actually get in there. And then what I might do is I might just take out some of these. And what we'll do is we'll mix it up a little bit over there. And similarly, we'll just do some of this kind of stuff so that we are able to get the rest of the electrifications moving. We'll do some few things over here and just make sure that all of that's working. And we'll do some stuff over here so all of that's working. And we need to do the same thing over here so that they can actually all go ahead and electrify all the way over there. Similarly with this and similarly with that. So that should work over there. We ultimately need it over here also. And so now with all of that in mind, we should be able to get our guys assigned for some additional constructions, right? They can't get back over there and they can't get back over there. But all of this should be just fine. Well, to be honest, in reality, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these out and I'm going to say, go ahead, go nuts and get that all assigned. And I'm going to come over here and say, well, how come you, let's start doing some stuff over here too. Just get as much of this going. But we can't do too many at a time. So that's the issue. Okay, guys, that's been another good episode. I've enjoyed it. I've been happy to get back into this game. There's still a lot to be done. Is this bridge done? No, this bridge is kind of stopped. I don't know why. We'll have to have a look in the next episode. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.